What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 37, and we start today's episode off with a newly promoted side coming to the Hawthorns to take us on in the face of Watford. And Watford, of course, they came up last year along with, who were the other two sides that came up last year? It wasn't Cardiff, it was Fulham and Norwich that came up with Watford. And to be honest, I fully expect Watford to be probably getting relegated at the end of the season. I don't like to say that because they do actually have a couple of really decent players in their lineup, but in this Premier League it's not the best of sides to, make any kind of progression, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are clambering for points at the bottom of the table come the last few games and probably relegated before the final fixtures come round, because as you can see, their side, it's not terrible. They've got some decent players. Obviously, Lazaro is one I was looking at. Dini's a good striker. Gomez in goal, and obviously Anya too at left back, and Matt Jarvis, obviously the player they've got there in their side as well isn't too bad, but it's not great. And as we took them on here at the Hawthorns, we did come on the back of that loss to West Bromwich Albion, loss to Feyenoord. I was still expecting us to get the 3 points in this game. The first chance would fall to us, but Jordan Abita's shot went wide, and then Watford came through themselves, looking to try and shut me up here as Lazaro comes forward and shoots, but it goes over the bar and out for a goal kick. So still scoreless in the first quarter of an hour, and 5 minutes later Watford came forward again here. Lewis McGugan, another decent player, finds Troy Deeney. He finds Abdi, who strikes it, and it's a good save by Foster, and we get the ball away. So it's still scoreless, but Watford having a couple of good chances in the first half, but really, like Burnley last year, they had chances, but they weren't taking them in the games, and that was Burnley's downfall last year. That's why they got relegated. And Watford, they weren't taking their chances in this game, even though they had them, they weren't taking them, and that's why in the 42nd minute I wasn't really surprised to see us take the lead through Brown today. Very nice goal as well, lovely team passing, and Carl Jenkinson, our new right back, skips past Anya down the left-hand side, down the right-hand side for us, down the left-hand side for Watford, skips past the left-back and puts in a great cross into the centre. Was it Anya? Yeah, it was Anya. And picks out Brown today. So very good header by Brown today. The man just cannot stop scoring right now. And obviously a nice cross by Carl Jenkinson, our new right-back as well. And in the 52nd minute, some nice passing, sees Fabian Delph get on the ball. He finds him by Niang. Niang takes the ball around his man and shoots, but it hits the post and is cleared away by Paredes. So still 1-0 to us, but in the first half, where Watford did look threatening on a couple of occasions, in the second half it was all us really. And as Niang collects the ball here, he finds Berahino back to Niang, lovely little 1-2 there, and as Niang comes forward here, he gets taken down and the referee gives a penalty. So penalty to West Bromwich Albion. At first glance, I wasn't actually sure whether it was a penalty or not. It seemed as though Niang sort of fell into his man, but as you'll see on the replay, he sort of gets not sandwiched per se, but a bit body checked by the skipper, and it was kind of interesting because the foul was actually not given against him but against Ekstrand, so that was kind of surprising. But even so, it's a penalty regardless of the way it's given, and it's a good chance for us to make it 2-0 here. Even though Niang won the penalty, Brown today was going to stand up and take it because he is the man in form and he just can't seem to miss anything right now. So it's Brown today against the former Spurs and PSV goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez, and he scores as well, and Cruzeiro I think, and also he spent a loan spell on Hoffenheim. Anyway, it's a good finish by Brown today, past Gomez, and the Brazilian goalkeeper is beaten and he makes it West Brom 2, Watford 0. So great penalty by Brown today, but you'd expect nothing less right now. The guy is in such good form and he just doesn't seem to miss anything. He's now got 10 goals in the Barclays Premier League already, and he is already looking on course for that golden boot come the end of the season because he's just playing so well. And in the 66th minute, Ben Foster made a good save there as Watford began to press, and again Watford did begin to creep out their shell eventually, and as Smith finds Paredes here, he crosses the ball in towards Troy Deeney at the far post, is headed up in the air, Anya collects the ball and turns, plays it inside, and well, unfortunately for us, the referee gives a penalty to Watford. And as you'll see, at first, again, I didn't think it was a penalty, but as you watch on the replay, Ben Foster gets a book in, and the reason why it was given as a penalty, even though he does win the ball, is because he comes through the man, and as you'll see, he just goes right through the back of Troy Deeney, and the referee's got no reason but to give a penalty there because, well, it's a really bad challenge in the end because he seems to sweep his legs like they do in action films. But yeah, it's a definite penalty and a great chance for Watford to get themselves back in the game with 8 minutes to go and possibly cause a late shot shock here as they try and get themselves a point, as we made a double substitution there, as Creswell came on and Niang and Berahino came off and someone else came on too. So a great chance here for Watford to grab themselves a consolation goal, if nothing else, because there's only a few minutes to go. Would they be able to get themselves a goal back regardless? It's Troy Deeney, the man who won the penalty, against Ben Foster, the man who gave it away, and it's Ben Foster who comes out on top. Creswell just came on the pitch, gives him a bit of a celebratory push, if you will, and what a save by Ben Foster as well. I think that's my first saved penalty in the series. I can't remember us saving a penalty before that, so I think that's our first saved penalty in the series, other than one that wasn't in the penalty shootout. And in stoppage time, Foster makes another good save. He put in a very good shift in this game, not just saving the penalty, but his all-round game was very, very good indeed. And it was still 2-0, and again in stoppage times we get the ball forward here. Brown today finds Danny Ings, who came off the bench, down his left-hand side. He takes on Abdi. He's got the pace to beat him. He's one-on-one with Heredia Gomez. Would he score? Unfortunately not, because Gomez makes a good save and denies him from scoring the one-on-one. But the game did finish West Bromwich Albion 2, Watford 0. So very, very pleased to get the 3 points. Foster can celebrate a well-deserved clean sheet. He also won man the match in this game, not a real surprise. And yeah, it's funny, but it's just like Burnley last year, it really is. Burnley got relegated as a newly promoted side because they had chances in the games they played us at least, but they didn't take them. Watford, the exact same. They had chances, but they didn't take them, and obviously notably the penalty, which they missed. Following that, we saw as well that Southampton have now been taken over in the games. We might expect to see them making some ambitious signings in the next couple of seasons. That'll be fun to watch. And also we had a couple of international friendlies with the USA. Again, I've said this before, I won't be playing any games with the USA if we're still managing them, but by the time that Russia 2018 comes around, I'm not sure we will be, but if we are, then, maybe we'll play that tournament, which we probably will. But as for international friendlies and anything like that, I'm just not going to bother with it. So against Bulgaria, we simulated, we drew the game by 2-2, and in the game against Norway, this was our second game, so second of 2 international friendlies here, we ended up losing this game by a goal to nil after we simulated it. But as you can see by the side I picked, and pretty much all the sides I'm going to pick, it's usually the same group of players. I may, make some changes here and there, but for the most part, it's going to be this sort of team. And there you go. Obviously, Green right now, the player on loan for us here at West Bromwich Albion from Bayern Munich. I'll try and give him as much game time as possible because, of course, he should have decent potential in the game. I'm not sure what it'll be exactly. He should have decent potential, and obviously, as he is on loan right now, he's not currently a first-choice winger. Wellington, Silva and Niang are. Then you got players like Patrick Roberts, who's ahead of him, probably Chris Brunt too. He's probably looking like 5th-choice winger, and obviously he's a striker as well, but again, even at striker, he's going to be 5th choice behind Ade, Berahino, Ings and Anichebe. So I'm going to try and give him some game time internationally if I can't do as much for the club. He will get some chances here at the Hawthorns, but, he won't get as many as he will do for the nation, because, I care more about the club than the nation, what can I say? I'd rather play him there. But anyway, we take on Stoke City for the second and final game of today's episode as we travel to the Britannia Stadium. As you would have seen by the league table, currently we are top right now. Very, very good start. Of course, it won't last. We will fade away eventually. But even so, it's been a very encouraging start for us. And we've had some fantastic games already, of course, notably the games against Arsenal and Hull City. And as we come to take on Stoke City, well, Stoke are currently sitting in 6th. They've made a decent start themselves, and I wasn't really sure what to expect from this game. But after a very good performance defensively against Watford, I was looking forward to, hopefully another shutout and hopefully another clean sheet. But it was Stoke who had the first chance of the game. That shot went just wide the post. And in the 20th minute, Mark Muniesa gives it to Morris Edu. Edu finds Ryan Shawcross, one of our original targets right at the start of this series. He finds Glenn Willian, who finds the former Barcelona man Bojan, who strikes it, and it goes just wide of the post and out for a goal kick. So still 0-0, but Stoke looking very, very threatening indeed. And in this game, I just couldn't get the ball out of our own half. Stoke were playing a really high press, and every time I got the ball, I passed it straight into a Stoke player. I kept giving the ball away, and Ben Foster had to make a very good save here in the 39th minute to keep the score at Stoke 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. From the corner, it's Arnautovic who crosses the ball in eventually with his right foot in towards Ryan Shawcross. Foster punches the ball away, but it comes to Muniesa, and it goes straight to Morris Edu, and Edu smashes the ball into the back of the net. Nastasic on the line, can't keep it out, and it is Stoke City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. So the American Maurice Edu, I said there about my side, my American side, probably not going to change much. Well, maybe I'll put Edu in the side if he scores those type of goals. Good finish by Maurice Edu under some pressure, but really it was quite poor from us. We should have got the danger away. We didn't, and Stoke took the lead. And on the stroke of half-time, they're through again. Bojan goes through one-on-one against Foster, and the former Barcelona man is never going to miss that. Bojan makes it Stoke 2, West Bromwich Albion 0, and it is Stoke who are into a commanding lead at half-time by 2-0. My defending was really poor, and it was it was completely the opposite of what happened against Watford. You know, against Watford I defended relatively well, and of course Foster had a great game, but in this game everything was going to pieces, nothing was working, and in the 51st minute we almost hit back here. Mabinian came forward, but Begovic made a very good save to deny him and kept the score at 2-0. But we had another chance here in the 62nd minute. Yusuf Malumbu finds Brown today. We strike it from range, and it goes just over the bar and out for a goal kick. So it's still 2-0, but it just wasn't working in this game. It was one of those games where it was real desperation, really, from us. And every time we came forward, we didn't look like scoring. We were just hoping for the best, really. Whereas Stoke were looking very threatening indeed. In the 80th minute here, Jordan Abita goes down his left-hand side, takes on his man, Jonathan Walters, beats him for pace, puts in a great cross into the centre. He picks out Saido Berahino, but his header goes just over the bar and onto the roof of the net. And the game does finish Stoke City 2, Stoke City 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. So a very disappointing performance. You know, just the opposite of the game against Watford. It really was. You know, defensively we were poor, offensively we didn't create enough, and against Watford it was the complete opposite. Defensively we played well, and we created loads of chances and could have scored a few more goals. So disappointed about the way we lost that game. Obviously, you know, they're a good side, Stoke, and they are in good form at the start of the season, but even so, a disappointing loss. And again, we see that the West Bromwich Albion board came to us with the email, the title about the last match. They say it wasn't one they want to see in defeat, and again, you know, they want to reassure us that we're the right man for the job, but they want to see more changes and, you know, basically start performing a bit better. So I don't know why the board hate me at the moment. We've only lost 4 games, and at 4 times they've came to us and given us a very negative email. So it's frustrating, it really is, and I'm starting to get a little bit fearful right now. But despite these emails, you know, you got to remember we are still in charge of West Bromwich Albion, and that isn't changing right now. It is kind of annoying because we've only lost 4 times, and after every single loss they've sent us this email or a variation of this email. But we haven't been sacked yet. We are still going, and we don't deserve to get sacked. So I'm confident the board will stick faith with us, and these emails will eventually go away. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.